We're here at the start of turn 4, and those are the purchases. And as usual, subject to change. Last turn I did change 2 of the countries' purchases by the time we got down there to the end. Let's get over here on Germany and make this a little wider so we can see what's going on. Alright, so that might be a little too wide, but for the first part though, I kind of need to see Gibraltar. I've been thinking about what to do there, because initially my thought was, well, let's just bug out of there and let the Allies have Gibraltar. But when I look at the U.S. fleet, really it's just a carrier and a cruiser and a couple destroyers, and the British can throw a couple destroyers in there. It's not exactly a huge invading force, or they've got 3 transports, so they could easily take it as it is. But if I put some planes down there, leave a destroyer for a scramble, and leave some German counterattack subs and other ships, all I got to do is whittle that fleet just a little bit, and then next turn it'll be wiped out at Gibraltar. And then really that's the last thing the U.S. can afford is to lose a fleet on their first turn of actual combat. So I think I will fortify Gibraltar for 1 turn and then get out of Dodge, because after that next U.S. buy comes and the British buy, because they're buying a carrier, then it's going to be overpowering, and we'll just give up Gibraltar at that, because I am playing myself. Therefore, I know that U.S. is not going to come, because I don't want to risk what little fleet is there. But in order to play the game, I'm going to have to fortify Gibraltar to make it, appear as, more of a fair game. So that's going to take some planes out of the Russian theater. But we will still bombard London here with these 2 bombers. Get that AA gun going there. We will have no combat down there. That'll all be non-combat movement. Let's come up and bomb this factory here in Leningrad. There's 1 fighter that can intercept, but it's really not worth, I don't think, the risk to the Russian fighter whoops. Gotta remember to do my convoys. We'll see if that happens. Like I said, it's not really worth, I don't think, the risk to that Russian fighter. And we're going to blitz that territory and with these tanks, so they'll just drive there, and then that lone guy will defend against all those units. So I'll just roll the Russian roll for that. There's their 14 infantry, 3 artillery, 2 mech, and 7 tanks. So I don't see him holding out. And then we'll follow it up with those 6 tanks in Romania. So we've got a pretty decent force in the Ukraine, and the Russians are going to have to decide to either counterattack or back out. I'll make that decision here shortly. So on the attacks, we're going to send in, what is that, 5 and 1 artillery, and 6 and 1 artillery there. And we are going to press towards Leningrad, so we're going to make Russia decide. One thing I don't know is if I want to send those 2 tanks in there, because Russia could counterattack that. And that wouldn't hurt my feelings any, because then Leningrad has less guys in it for the next assault. My destroyers are out of position to take care of those convoy zones. So let's march this guy up in there as well. Let's make it a party. So I got these other planes. There's really nothing they're doing. I'm going to move all these down to Gibraltar, along with all those in the Med, to make it appear that that's the reason why the U.S. isn't coming over. And then I'll get these subs in position to counterattack. Give the U.S., a solid reason why they're not coming. And that would be it, I think, on the attacks. So let me check the viewfinder where the dice tray will go. I'll just set it on all these stinking subs. Or will I just set it here? Yeah, let's set it here. Alright, I just hit the carrier. Alright, so strategic bombardment. 2 AA shots. I'll be damned, there's a damage. Alright, so we're going to have to send one of these back to Normandy because I can put some reinforcements there to guard that bomber. And the bomber there hits a 4, add 2, so there is 6 damage in London. They have never fixed any of their airfields or naval port because they haven't needed to use them. So, but I assume when the Americans get over there, they'll have to pony up. All right, strategic bombing done. No naval battles. So we'll start up here at the north with an artillery and a infantry and 4 infantry by themselves. So I just need 1 hit, and that's all I got. And the Russian fires back with nothing. I think it's the same on the next one, but I have 1 more infantry. So, can't find it. There we go. Got 3 hits there. That was nice. The Russians fire back for nothing. All right, so these 2 territories are eliminated with no casualties. The next one, that's a pretty big stack against 2 Russians. I got 2 tanks, 2 artillery. All right, and that leaves 4 infantry. All right. All right, well, there's the 2 hits. Russians fire back, and they get 1. So far, so good for the second round of attacks for Germany. Take a I like that guy. Let's get rid of this guy. All right, so I'm going to just roll for that Russian down there that's going up against that massive German army in Ukraine. And he vaporizes, so 1 German loss this turn. That is good for the Axis, bad for the Allies. So that places 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that will be 5 down for Russia. Puts them at 37. 5 up for Germany. Puts them at 61. And then let's just slide all these guys in. They're all in there. I'm almost maybe going to need a task marker here. And you know what? Let's chip out that 1 tank that's on top there. So that will give 13 tanks in Ukraine, which is more. Well, how many Russian infantry is there? There's 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 infantry. There will not be a counterattack there. Artillery moves up. And the aircraft moves up. We're going to leave those planes there. This bomber had 3 left, so he will land in Romania. And oh, I never rolled that strategic bomber. So the anti-aircraft gets a 2. Damn it. So it's damaged here. That means Finland or Poland. Thank goodness. Let's go to Poland, because Finland, they would be wide open. And these all are moving up into Poland for the march on Leningrad. Yeah, that would have been a disaster had it landed in Finland. I would have had to maybe send some planes. No, there's no planes within reach. So that bomber would have been a sitting duck for those Russian tacticals and fighter there. All right, so down below in the Operation Gibraltar, we're going to leave one destroyer. We're going to take one sub inside, and then this transport is going to head inside. All this is coming up to here, along with that sub. This sub's staying there to prevent the Russian NO. All right. This transport that came up here is going to grab these two and put them in Norway. Alright, we're going to send down 2 fire. Well, yeah, I'm going to build some guys there. So this bomber came over with 2, so it has 4 left. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the air base is good enough. Alright, so these 3 came down. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to send these 2 over as well. They got an air base on Malta. 1, 2, 3, 4. They still would have made it anyway. So that's 3 tacticals, 2 fighters. I don't have any reason to leave those in Rome, other than to protect. Yeah, I got to protect that transport. If Italy doesn't block that French destroyer, it could come up and get that transport. So I will leave that. All those planes are out of the action for this round, but that keeps the U.S. off of our back for one turn, and then, like I said, we're gonna evacuate out of there. Of course, you know what? I didn't take a guy with me, did I? I'm going to leave the guy, and I'm going to take the tank, and we'll put it in Rome here. Alright. So now this next turn, if I want to go to Africa, I can grab that tank in Rome and the guy in Greece. But looking at the situation, the British may overwhelm Italy shortly. Alright, so let's place the units. I did buy a factory for Greece with the assumption of trying to hold that battle in Africa. Alright, so we're going to place in Berlin 4 mechs and 4 tanks. We've got 3 guys. We're going to put 2 here. We can do something with that transport, and 1 here to help protect that bomber. I mean, Britain wouldn't risk their fighters anyway. They just bought a carrier, and that's their last 2 fighters that they have. So that is the end of that. They have 1 NO for Denmark and Norway. So they are not doing well on the national objectives, but they're not very far into Russia, so 61 plus 5 for that NO, so $66. So put one of those back, grab a nickel. And it is now Russia's turn. And let me look at that viewfinder. I think I got to move the camera just a hair. turn it so we can see the Russian theater there. Oh, my battery's about to die. Alright, well, I partially charged the battery because I wanted to get this as much as I could done tonight. One of the things I did was I got on Amazon and ordered a backup battery for this camera, so we won't have this problem again. But as I'm sitting here looking at the board, I thought, well, why not go ahead and roll these, some questionable battles out? Because, when you're playing other people, you kind of have to go with your gut, and do I want to do this battle or not? You don't have the luxury of, rolling some battles to see how they would have went. And then sometimes, of course, you're playing with the mathematicians, and you can see the wheels grinding there as they're figuring, all sorts of possibilities for these dice and what you should get a hit and what you shouldn't, and but that's how they play. That's not how I play. But so I rolled this out, and I brought in over the U.S. ships and to do an amphib, scrambled the planes, the German destroyer. So the first roll, the U.S. missed everything. Not one single hit. The Germans rolled what you see there, 3 hits on the planes, and the destroyer missed. So I thought, well, that ended that battle right there. So that was enough for me to suggest that my decision not to come over on this turn, when the U.S. gets their turn, that's all I needed. But I went ahead and rolled that battle 3 more times, and the second roll, the U.S. got 2 hits, but the Germans got 3. And then the third roll is what you see there. The U.S. got 1 hit, the Germans got 3 again. So no matter how you slice it, that battle wasn't gonna, well, granted, if the U.S. rolls better, then that battle does succeed. Can the 3 transports take out the remaining planes and that guy? Probably, but then they're gonna be, reduced to almost nothing, and then the Germans can counterattack with other ships and planes, and that's the end of that. The U.S. is set back for 2 or 3 turns, and the game might be over by then. The other battle, I went ahead and I did this Russian battle here, and I took all the units, zoom out a little bit here, all the units that could reach the Ukraine to go against that big German stack, and all the planes from up north. On the first round of combat, the Russians didn't do too well. They got 8 hits. The Germans got 12. You can see that. And then on the second round, they got 8 hits, out of the remaining, which was pretty good. The Germans got 10 again. The downside to that battle is that after 2 rounds of combat, the only thing left for the Russians was 2 tanks and then all the aircraft. So in all of southern Russia, there'd be 2 tanks, that infantry, that artillery, and an anti-aircraft gun. And Germany still had all 13 tanks, or 14, whatever it is, 2 mech and an artillery. So they would have rolled pretty much anywhere they wanted to go at that point. So once again, it's one of those things where you look at the counterattack and you think, I don't know if I should do that. And in this instance, that would have been disastrous for Russia. So they will be retreating there. But let's widen this out and see if we can get all of Russia on this. Oh, and the other thing, of course, up there, the convoy zones. I forgot. So I went ahead and rolled those, and Germany lost $1 in each one of those convoy zones. So it wasn't the end of the world, but at the same time, it could have been much better. All right, so Russia, I think they're just going to do an attack and try and whittle down some of these German units, and I don't want to really go up against these two tanks. They're about, was there 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll take the lesser of the two evils here, and we'll go in with, well, let me put that plane back because it was the damaged plane and I chipped out the tank, so let's get rid of that. Get all this off the board so it's not so confusing. But I had nothing to do, so rolling out those battles was kind of fun. I was waiting on that battery. Alright, so there's a guy left. So we're going to take in 10 guys, the 2 artillery, and, well, you know what? Maybe I could hit those Italians and get rid of that Italian can opener. Kind of garbage. Or I can retreat them for a counterattack, because they're not going to be able to move much. 3 guys in a tank. We will walk in there and take that back though. That's just for free. Alright, so we got 2 fighters, 2 tacticals, 2 artillery, and 10 guys, and we're gonna hope we don't kill all those guys, because that would be not what we're after. We're looking just to whittle them down. So I don't know if I've got 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, here's the 10 ones. 2. So we got 2 hits there. And actually, I gotta re-roll that, because 2 of those would be boosted with that artillery. So here's the infantry and artillery for a total of 3 hits. So Russia kind of got the shaft on that one because they had 2 of their ones hit. You gotta do it right, I guess. Planes. Oh, crap roll. Alright, so 4 hits. So that'll be, leave down to a man and an artillery. So that will be 4, 5, 6 twos coming back against the Russian forces. And we'll have to hope they don't get 4. I got 1, so that worked out. So we'll break, well, I'm not going to break that chip because I'll take this gray one off, because they're retreating back into Leningrad, where they will be assaulted by the remaining German forces next turn. That being said, I need those planes for Moscow. So these planes would have went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fighter that was in Belarus, 1, 2, 3, 4, if I put him out of harm's way. Yeah, we'll put him there. Because what we'll do is we'll back these guys. What? Yeah, that was a freebie. So let's take 1 off for Germany. On the Japanese side, I don't think that's wise to attack. We might as well string them out, so we'll pull back there. So these guys have attacked. We're going to leave 1 anti-aircraft gun because there's only 4 German planes that can reach there. Yeah, let's just leave 1. So we'll back that up. We're going to back these guys up here into Archangel. Move that forward. Alright, so now we've got to back out of, but we want really Germany to spend some units. So we're going to put an anti-aircraft gun. So we want Germany to use a bunch of units down here in taking that factory so that they're further away from Moscow. Alright, so I don't really want to leave that artillery. I might as well leave it there because it can only back out into harm's way. But something's got to be there, so it might as well be that. They all defend it too, plus whatever I build there. Let's get our tanks off the front line. We're going to slide those up to give us... No, we're not. Let's see where we're going to go with that. Let's slide these mobile ones back into here. Give us some range. Move the artillery. We're going to leave a guy. So let's chip that out. I think we'll do that. Let's put the 2 artillery down there. So we don't want to completely give up the south. And I bought another 5. I don't really want to move those forward, but I think I will. Just 1 stack. Just in case there's a counter-attack opportunity, because they can always come back. And of course, these guys are all marching. Alright, let's fall back. There is a tank there, but honestly, if they want to just rush a tank, well, they wouldn't attack. They'll move the whole stack. So we're going to give up 2 points to the Japanese there and slowly work our way back. This guy will move. Let's move him into China. I believe that is it. So there'll be 2 big battles for 2 factories on the next German turn. Let's put... You know, I gotta break that chip up because I want some better defense. So we'll do 2 greens and get rid of that red and that infantry. So that way I can put 3 there, 3 there. And we're gonna put our tanks down in Stalingrad in case we get an opportunity to counterattack. And the artillery and infantry up in, well, I got room for 1 artillery down south. Alright, so most likely I'm going to move that infantry back into Moscow that I just moved out, but that's no harm because they're far enough away right now, it doesn't matter. We'll stay in the convoy zones and probably be sunk by those destroyers, but what else can you do with those? Alright, so Russia is at $38. So there's 30. Let's get some ones. They have no objective. They still got a decent amount of money, plus they saved 1, so. Alright, let's move over to Japan, because they will get to attack the US this turn. Move the dice over as well. Oh, I better move that US carrier back too. I don't want any crazy thoughts going on there. Alright. Moving the camera over here. Alright, so what do we have? That's as wide as it goes. That encompasses almost everything. Japan just covers a vast expanse of territory here. But we'll put that factory, because we're going to go back to hitting that. So while I'm on this side, we're going to, oh, might as well get my markers. We're going to try and take out Sumatra, and then we'll have to deal with Anzac here in a little bit. We are coming into the Philippines, that's a must. We're going to hit these two guys in Burma, but honestly, there's not a plan to send my 3 units land or 4 land units in there, because they'll be immediately destroyed. So we're going to build up a little bit of a force before we head into Burma. And we got up here, we're going to have a walk-on, a walk-on, a walk-on. And as far as hitting Chinese, we're going to send those 2 there. Mech and a tank in there as well. I would use these planes on the US. I need some defense, but I still need to attack as well. So we're going to come in here with these 2. And they're flying 1, 2, 3, so they're going to have 1 left. He's repaired. Well, he didn't really. He was damaged, but it doesn't cost to repair. So we're going to hit the bombing again with the 2 bombers. Hopefully that fares better. We're going to send 2 guys in, and hopefully we can destroy all these guys. I'm going to leave my artillery out of the battle. So 2 fighters and 2 tanks. And I may come back and do something different here. So this transport's bringing these 2 guys. And it looks like it's empty, but we're going to zip down the coast, grab an artillery, grab an infantry. So we got 2 artillery, 2 infantry coming in. Alright, so from that carrier, we can take those 2. They will be in that land battle with 2 movements left. Of course, I'm struggling to pick that up. Alright, so if I want, and I am, I'm going to bring these over as well. That would be 1, 2, 3. So these 2 will be in there with 1 movement left. And looking around at those, he's got 3 fighters protecting that destroyer in Queensland, so I'll leave that alone. We're going to bring over the cruiser. Well, yeah, because we might as well bring all that we're going to bring just in case. You don't want to go in there light and have them scramble that 1 plane and make you look silly. Alright, so I've got 2 transports with 2 loads. So I could swing around and hit, but now that's, we'll wait for some more to show up. Alright, so I'm going to take, well, I want those guys to go into Yunnan. But I hate pulling a guy off Borneo and giving him a free, but he'll go there and grab the artillery. So that's just going to be 2 on 1. not going to put another ship out there, so we'll just sacrifice that. You know, but Britain could easily take that back. Let's put this back where, oh, right there it was. All right, let's rethink this. The carrier, 1, 2, no. I don't want to get my ships into a spot where they can't reach getting back to Japan this turn until we see what the US is going to do. While I'm thinking about it, we'll put our blocker out there. Alright, well, wherever we go, we're going to have... Well, let's just make the British come over and do that. If they want to. UK Pacific, they don't have a lot of dollars. I don't think they can replace the transports. So that will be that attack. We've got these units on the carrier. They're not doing anything, so we'll bring them in as well. And let me look around. Oh, silly me. The time for a walk-on in French Indochina is now. Alright, so that does leave three fighters, but you know what? I want to use those fighters to get closer to give me a counterattack option against the US fleet. So I don't want to send them inland yet. Because I was thinking of hitting these guys right here. Should have had this a little better thought out before I started moving pieces and stuff. Well, let's risk it. We're going to send one artillery. We'll save two fighters for the defense of the sea zone over there when we move them. And then we will send the tactical two fighters and artillery. And basically, we're just trying to whittle down those Chinese so there's no counterattack. And we're going to cross our fingers we don't lose a plane, because that is pretty risky. Alright, so, oh, yep, got to make those at least that, and then I can adjust from there. Alright, I didn't flip that around. Let me see if that dice tray's in the viewfinder. I don't even see it in the viewfinder. Huh. Alright, so I can put it here in the middle, I believe. We'll move that factory over. We'll roll there. Alright, so walk on, walk on, walk on. First, well, I guess amphibious battle needs to be first, the naval battle. So I've got a battleship, cruiser, two destroyers. There will be no scramble. 3 hits. Destroyer fires back, which wouldn't matter. I'd just taken a hit on the battleship, and so there would have been no loss there anyway. Alright, so in the land battle, I've We got 2 infantry, 2 artillery, and then I have 3 pairs of fighters and tacticals. So this should be a 1-round sweep. Yep. And then there is 2 infantry and a fighter. I get 2 back. So I don't want to lose both infantry because I want to be able to use one of those transports to attack something on the next turn. So I will lose an infantry and an artillery. Alright, the next battle, we'll just start up here. 2 1s, 3 and a 4. 3 hits, interesting. Chinese fight back with nothing. I don't have any markers there. I need to get some more Japanese markers. I should probably just keep the tray on that side of the table, because that's about all they do is put markers out. Alright, so I got a tank, infantry, artillery, mech. Just need 1 hit. Nothing. Uh-oh. China's turn. Oh, they could have capitalized on that one. 3 hits. And nothing. Alright, so China not faring well. Here's the risky battle, where we find out if I was just being stupid. Oh, no, 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 no. No hits. Run for your lives. Oh, nothing back. I'm going to do it again. I don't know why. There's 2 hits, 3 hits. Alright, China's gone. I got to survive this one, though. Damn it. Lost a plane. Alright, we're going to lose a fighter. But I guess, you know, I got 9. I had to lose that artillery, too. Alright. So they will land back there. Oh. Battle on Sumatra. Got an infantry and artillery, no hit. Uh-oh. Britain takes 1. So it's an artillery against an infantry. Japan. UK Pacific. Japan. UK Pacific. Japan. UK Pacific. Japan. UK Pacific. Oh my gosh. Japan. There we go. UK Pacific. That one came down to the wire. It was a long wire too. Alright. So I think that is it for the, nope, we got Burma yet. 2 infantry and 2 pairs of fighters and tacticals. Need 2 hits. Got 1. And they got 1. So we will continue, because the most I can lose is that infantry. So let's take an infantry out. That's what I needed on the first roll. And nothing on that one. So by artillery. He will not be there long, because a counterattack will come. Alright, so that is 3, 7 from the UK Pacific. So let me do some adjusting here while I'm going. That is a punch for them, because now they are down to $9. Got a +2. Nobody goes down for that because France doesn't have any skin in the game. There's 2 more there. China is down to 4. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. Oh, no, that's Yunnan. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's correct. Alright, and the US goes down 2. And Japan goes up 2 for that. Alright, well, the camera shut off for some reason, and it wasn't the battery. I was in the process of moving the ships there and the carriers to catch all those planes. I'm debating on leaving that destroyer there to soak up a bombardment. I got 2 cruisers and a battleship. It's a good option because on this map Carolinas is worth 2, but so is Bonin. I'm not going to move a battle or a destroyer out there, but I could reinforce Bonin with this transport. In fact, let's just do that. We'll take 2 guys, so wherever the US goes on either one of those 2 islands, they're fighting 3 units and a destroyer. And then we're going to bring all this back up here. These transport here, no, up to here. And we are going to leave that transport to die. We're going to bring these up. We want to get to this naval base here. So we might as well move that one up too. So there won't be any big force swinging around. We'll leave, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, that one will be safe there. We're going to bring these fighters up here to that air base. These planes will land back in Yunnan. These planes have 1, so they will land in the middle here. Alright, so this artillery was in Shan State. We'll leave that there. We'll move these 3 in. Those 2 guys will go up 1. Up 1. I should have walked into there. Oh well. Alright, so there's, oh, didn't count on Russia's. That's 3 from Russia. So 1, 2, 3. Russia is down to 35. And we might as well consolidate all our units up here. Chase the Russians off. Alright, so they've landed, they've moved. We're going to fly these to Japan. I think that is it. Kind of leaving a couple destroyers out in the wind there. But US only has 2 transports at Pearl Harbor, so if they do go to either one of those, my hope is to chew up as much land units as I can. Alright, I believe, oh, we didn't do the strategic bombing. Alright, so they have 2 anti-aircraft shots. Nope. And that's 8, so that would be 12. 12, that pretty much is going to put a kibosh on UK Pacific there, because they're only making $9. They'll have to adjust their buy now because they don't have any space left to build on that factory, because there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 16 damage now on this factory. They're gonna have to buy down 7 just to put one unit. Alright, so they will head back to, actually they both can head back to here. And the reason why I want them back one space there is if I need them in an ocean battle, that'll be one space closer to that engagement on the following turn. Alright, so we're going to place our goods. I built a factory in Hong Kong. I've got 3 tanks, or should I say 3 tanks. I wonder if I should put some infantry there with the tank. That way that transport could head somewhere, or one of them anyway. So we'll put a tank up here. And the other 2 guys, fighter and artillery. Then we got 3 ships that we're going to put here. Alright. So I've got everything at naval bases that could strike 2 possible attack zones for that U.S. fleet, if they do anything. I may have to do this, finish the rest of this turn tomorrow. That battery dying really cost some time. Japan, no national objectives. However, they are up to 70. I have to go backwards now on the chart. 72, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 78. So no objectives. It's $78. Have to get on that Money Island thing. Alright. We'll wrap this up for the night, and tomorrow night we'll come back and do US and the remainder of the turns.